Good evening, viewers, wherever you're joining us from tonight. Welcome to another special edition on online platform for International Women's Day. I am curious to know where you've joined us from this evening. If you don't mind dropping in the comments box where you're watching us from, we'll be grateful to know. And we are so excited to have you on here tonight. So our special discussion tonight is going to be about International Women's Day, which is celebrated annually on the 8th of March. The month of March, however, is also classed as Women's History Month, which means that throughout the month of March, women's work and achievement is celebrated throughout the globe. However, the United Nations observance of this year's International Women's Day recognizes and celebrates women and girls who are championing the advancement of transformative technology and digital education. So this year's International Women's Day will not just explore the impact of digital gender gap and spotlight the importance of protecting the rights of women and girls in digital spaces. It will also address online gender-based violence. Let's look at some of the facts. Bringing women and other marginalized groups into technology does result in more creative solutions and has greater potential for innovations that meet women's needs and promote gender equality and equity. The lack of women inclusion in these spaces, by contrast, comes with massive cost. As per the UN Women's Gender Snapshot 2022 report highlighted, that women's exclusion from the digital world has shaved 1 trillion from the gross domestic product of low and middle income countries in the last decade, a loss that will grow to 1.5 trillion by 2025 if no actions taken. So reversing this trend would require tackling the problem of online violence, which a study of 51 countries revealed that 38% of women had personally experienced online violence. Let that sink in. Let's let that sink in for a second, because that's a huge percentage. And for a study that's done within 51 countries, 38% of women has experienced online violence. But however, every year, the International Women's Foundation have their own separate theme, which is separate to the United Nations. So this year's theme is Embrace Equity. Equity isn't just a nice to have, it's a must have. A focus on gender equity needs to be part of every society's DNA. And it's critical to also understand the difference between equity and equality, as these two words get confused quite a lot. The words equity and equality are often used interchangeably, although equity meaning that each individual or group of people are given the same resources or opportunities. However, equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and are allocated exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. So although the two words sound very similar and it's used interchangeably, but they are quite different. So therefore, this year's International Women's Day campaign is to get the world talking about equal opportunities. But that equal opportunities are no longer enough. And the equity is a must-have, not just a nice-to-have, not just a tick box exercise. So this evening, I've got a lineup of amazing panel who are excited to be here to join me to discuss women, equality, equity, and beyond. I would like to introduce my first panelist. She's my very old friend and a sister. And I'm proud of the work she's currently leading in the Gambia, which has helped many women realize their dreams and potentials. She's the director of National Boss Women Gambia. She's the national director. Boss Women Gambia is a non-profit organization providing doorstep training on financial literacy and personal development skills for women in rural communities. She's not here alone. She's brought with her a beneficiary from Boss Women Gambia. I'd like to introduce Fatu Turecham and Yarohi Daba Jain. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Bakari.
Thank you very much, Bakari.
Thank you for being here tonight. My next panelist I would like to introduce. She is a sister I got to work closely with, and she recently allowed me to share her personal story on this platform in November last year. She's a personal development enthusiast and content creator. Please join me to welcome back Baro Turesaho. Hey, Baro.
Thank you so much, my dear sister Bakari, and to all my fellow panelists. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to the discussions.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us again.
You're welcome.
And finally, just in case you're thinking it's an all-female panel tonight, although we can do just that because it's International Women's Day we're talking about, and it's Women's History Month. So we've got every right to have an all-female panel. But hey, remember, we cannot do that though because we do need allies. Allies help us reach our full potentials. So he's back again for a second time to be on this platform for International Women's Day. And we are excited to welcome him back. That means that we've done something the first time round. We've done something right the first time round. Hence the reason why he's back again. Welcome, Mr. Jalaman Kamara, my very own brother.
Thank you so much, Bakari. I'm very pleased to be back again. And then my regards to everyone and all the viewers out there. This is an interesting topic. And then I'm happy to be part of the discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jala. And thank you for coming back again for another fireside conversation, second time round.
So,
thank you. So, as I mentioned earlier, so my panelists, I've got a variety, I've got a mix, as you guys can see. I want to start with Fatu and Boss Women Gambia. Fatu, because I understand Boss Women Gambia, you guys have been doing some great things in Gambia, you know, apart from enabling women, you supporting women to realize their potentials to the fullest. Can you briefly take us through or just give us a brief about what Boss Women Gambia is about for our viewers who don't know about Boss Women Gambia?
Thank you very much, Bakari, once again. And thank you for joining us wherever you're watching. And I'm so glad to be here to speak on behalf of the women of the Gambia. Boss Women is an NGO that was registered since 2018. And as I speak today, we've trained more than 17,000 women across the length and breadth of the Gambia. Basically, what this organization tries to do is to promote access to financial literacy. We believe that the greater chunk of the world, especially women in particular, have been denied access to so many things that affect their development. So what BOSS does is to connect with these women at the last mile. Our approach to the training is we provide women with training on financial literacy with our mobile on school bus. And this bus reaches out to the women in the rural communities. One of the biggest challenges that women in the country face is they don't have access to certain opportunities. And this limits their potential. They cannot evolve. They cannot be the person they want to be. Why we do the doorstep training? When you look at our society, many of these women, all their focus is on taking care of the family. And that denies them the opportunity to move out their comfort zone, move out of their homes to go and provide the training, to go and access the training that would allow them to develop themselves. So BOSS reaches to women in the last mile. provide them financial literacy and leadership training. And over these years, we have seen a lot of women evolving. We have seen a greater transformation in the lives of these women that we touch directly. From inception to date, these women do not only become business entrepreneurs, but they also evolve and show a certain level of leadership, which you will see in some of the videos that we'll be sharing or along the line on some of the discussions that might come. So I'm happy here today with Rohi, who is one of the beneficiaries among the lot. And as we continue, she will be given the opportunity to share her story with us on her engagement with Boss Women Gambia.
That's a great intro into Boss Women Gambia, just for the sake of those who are not aware of it, and because I know of the project through you, because you're my friend, we speak all the time, so I get to know the great work that you guys have been doing. But to say that you've touched the lives of over 17,000 women in Gambia, I think that's great. That's amazing. And if you think about when Boss Women came into fruition in Gambia, and now that's really huge if you look at it in the grand scheme of things. So before we carry on any further though, I want us to watch a 5 minutes video. This video has been put together by Fatu and her Boss Women team in Gambia for this discussion. And I think after watching the video, then we can go into a bit more further into the discussion. So let's have a look at the video.
It was established in 2018, but prior to that, it came out of a leadership journey that I attended in 2017 with women from the Netherlands and the Gambia, mapping the way to have an organization that will create a platform for women, provide them with opportunities to be able to realize their goal. Allow them to believe in the power of self.
Ndamo business lalati birin gadin do ko la karola kasuola karola ani musu nyarol la karola ndayo fanna doron min min mama nda doron ni wala kata barinde tata la fo njikila teta no ngamra nunko fo kule bende dala mbuka kodo nyi landino bari Boss Gambia nata na janto yen karadi tilfula doron nganna kodo mara nyalo ngalon ko kodo nyanta domola munela ani amanjari kadomo munela wakatante ala tentu bati anata yiriwa ba fanan sabunye kata adina kodo bembulu birin serun nito le karam ke tata fo nyina ngayo kodo tarambulu
wa Boss Gambia mom njëriñ buñ am ci nit ñi yeneen nga xamne ñi nga am ay compagnie te dimbalé nit ñi nañ bolé Boss Gambia jappalé len ndax Boss Gambia ñi ngi jappalé nit ñi képp ku jàng seen jël seen jàng bi nga jàng ko njëriñ bi nga ci am lolu ñom kenn mënu la ko fay
ntaka ñoo panketo lemuno duutol ntaka wole waafi bari kunun tebe o business o kon aman nafano bari bi business o ñi ayente nafa bakele kabri itolente training na kadu kunun te ni nga waafi do ke mbuka nafa long nda sa fono anente kima be man business o nafa long nde kima ka kembu business o le kente kanyi ñoo panketi business o le ke bari nde kema ante kabinde kanyi ko karan natan kema karanda ko kono la ate fane understanding sota kono fo bi mfele bi dal nga ala tentu ko la bakele fan katu bi mfele mbeke kan kuti akono
kono ngala tentu bakele ata tinna mbe ngunu mola say to lo tam mo fla singolale ala kan fila kan baro kono ndenga ndingol mo fla be la karam mo joni business o kono ibe karanta ko ya ban ko bi alhamdulillah ibe ra do ko kono to mbe man so tenture mba jayila ala kan kila kan ani Boss Gambia yo nata.
Thank you so much, our technical assistant in the background, for bringing the video up for us. Fatu, that's a really great video. There's one thing I've observed though throughout the video is that all the women, and for the benefit of all the viewers who do not speak our local languages, all the women have said something that's in common, which is the fact that they are businesswomen. However, they always found it hard to manage their finances, their business finances, i.e., when a businesswoman say that, what they actually meant in reality is that they find it hard to manage their profits or to be able to realize the profit they get from the business. So some of what they've also said is the skills and training that they gained from boss women, that's what's not helped them to able to realize the profits that they gain from they're gaining from their business. So what sort of training or skills are these women being engaged in with boss women? Is it like bookkeeping, or is it like cash flow training? What is some of this training? Because it's quite interesting. Fatty, you're on mute.
It's all on the two that you've mentioned. We train them on bookkeeping, on cash flow, on financial management. But the most central part of our training is the attitudinal mindset that has to change. That's where we focus on. You know, many a times when you ask people who is the most hardworking, they'll say women are very hardworking. But then women will still be defined as being the poorest. So that's the question we were trying to answer. So women can understand they're actually not poor. It's their attitude around the money, around their finances, that makes them and make them to be where they are, that they cannot excel to be the woman that they actually want to be. And also some of them, it has been a long journey for them to be able to realize their financial and economic goals. So the training does not just focus on teaching them on being financially disciplined. It also allows them to set and make informed choices around their finances. So now we've seen women who, when they have financial problems, instead of thinking of taking a loan to solve that problem, they will plan to be able to solve that problem. How will they do that? After the training, a woman will set a goal to say, okay, I want to buy a fridge. Then they will know how much it costs to buy that fridge. Then based on their business activities, they will know how long it will take them to be able to buy that fridge. So it's those little things that makes that the woman need to practice and make it her daily habit. So it's more of a transformational change.
Right. Okay. That makes perfect sense. So it's that because all those skills that you said, although they're little, they're very vital skills in life that one needs to know and able to understand, to be able to apply it in everyday life, especially when you're trying to run a business. Jala and Barrow, Fatu just mentioned about attitudinal mindsets, trying to change the mindset of women. Jala, from your being a female ally, women and trying to change their mindsets sometimes, I know it can be tough, because some of these are cultural. When a woman feel that their only place is maybe in the house, taking care of the family needs and everything. But you have worked with quite a lot of female since when I know you from growing up. You've always been a great female ally. And me and you had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, I believe, about when you were in the youth work and supporting women, supporting girls at the time. What you didn't realize that you were doing was equity, not just equality. So I just want to get your viewpoint on that.
Thank you very much, Bakade. I think let's just reflect on the video we just watched and the voices of those women who were speaking. And then I must say, I was very impressed to see the impact and the changes that Boss Women is doing for women in the Gambia. So that need to be acknowledged and then also be appreciated in all sectors of our community. But then in regards to your question, I think what that video shows us is that equity is giving everyone the opportunity to be successful. And what they're doing there is giving every woman the opportunity to be successful. What does that mean? Also ensuring that you responding to their needs. But then, to be successful, that journey needs everyone have to start from somewhere. And then our needs are different. But then we cannot achieve equality without dealing with equity, because equity is the gateway to equality. What does that mean in essence? It means that we need to ensure that we give people equal access and equal opportunity. So if they don't have the access and the opportunity, they will not be able to drive the wheel to their destination. And if you look at those women, they've been working very hard with good intention to be successful. But there was one thing that is missing, is what I call the opportunity and the access. And then let's say, for example, you say to every person that let's go and buy Osobe, or let's go and buy shoes. You can give everyone a pair of shoes, yeah, to say that is equal. But it doesn't necessarily mean that pair of shoes fit every individual. So therefore, if we have to achieve equity, we need to ensure that we provide people understand that people are not equal. However, everyone starts from somewhere. And then we need to lift them up to get to where everyone should be, so that the equal opportunity and the equality we're referring to, the inclusion and the diversity we're talking about, can be achieved. But that will not be achieved unless and until we reach the unreached. And then again, going back to both women, you can see what they're doing there. They're going to reach the unreached. People in the community to say that, you know what, they're working very hard. Don't give up. There is something in the world there say called success. But that success can only happen if you are given the access and the opportunity. And then how do you give people access and opportunity? By giving them the education, the skills they need. And that is very crucial if we are to achieve what we refer to as equality. So that is what we need to understand between the words of equality and equity. You cannot achieve equality without dealing with equity. And that is giving everyone an access, and understand that we can all look over the fence. That's fine. But then I am told other people are short. So we need to ensure that there is that ladder that can lift everyone so that we can all see it from the same fence.
To be able to have equal outcomes and equity, like you said, it's not just, you know, giving us all the same platform, but also realizing that we all got different needs, and how can, you know, the different needs be fulfilled. So that's quite important. So I want to go back to so Fatu, and whilst we're still on the subject of Boss Women Gambia, Fatu and Yarohi, welcome. As a beneficiary of Boss Women Gambia project in 2021, I think I just want you to just give us a little bit on how you benefited from that project, because I understand you now a businesswoman and a community women group leader. So I just want to understand how, you know, how you benefited from it, and how did you find the experience? You guys are on mute, Fatu, again. Fatu, you guys are on mute.
Good evening once again. I'm very grateful to be part of this discussion, special discussion on International Women's Day. I am a businesswoman. I am leading a group of women. One day I was lying in my shop, then I had their radio program at Taxi FM. Then they said they will come and train the women free. Then they will train you how to handle your finances and how to deal with customers. Then I called them, I couldn't get them. Then I traced the time of the radio program again. After when I got to the radio program, then I keep the number. Then I call them. I told them that I'm interested because I have never seen this type of group saying that they are going to help Gambian women, train them to know how they will manage their businesses. So now I came to the office. I was very grateful. I met Fatu and Keba. So now I told them about my group of people. So now they give me their list that everybody should write your name and your address. So now I went back to the group. I called them. When I call a meeting, I told them that there is an NGO, charity organization, that is helping Gambian women. So I want you people, let's try to take time so that they can come and train us. And they did it. They came to train us. These people who are selling gatesaf, cherry, I involve all of those people. And up till now, anywhere I go, I see a group of women. I will tell them about boss women. Then I will give boss women their contact. Then they go and train them. I have done that more than more than 5 groups, alhamdulillah, because they are really helping Gambian women. Because as for them, they will train you how to make your finances. Because before, when you are doing business, you buy attire every day, you misuse the money. But now when they came to train you, they will tell you that you have your capital income, your expenditure, then you remove your profit. And alhamdulillah, I have seen myself through, and most of the people that have done the training too, they have seen themselves through the training. I'm very grateful to Fatu and the team. They are really helping Gambian women. That is why I told Fatu, anytime you call me, anything that I can assist, I will do it.
That's great.
We are very grateful to the team.
Great. That's great. Thank you for sharing with us how you got to find out about Boss Women Gambia and how you then managed to benefit from the project, and how you've now also you're kind of like an advocate for Boss Women Gambia, and because you've got other groups that have got involved with them, so which is really good. And that's again because of the good experience that you had from there and where you benefited from there. So you then had to share it with other women that you feel that could benefit from it. So that's really good. I think that's empowerment, because that's how we can empower each other as women. So overall, what Boss have brought into the Gambia is empowerment and strengthening the angle of women being able to transform their own lives in various ways. However, when we talk about transforming one's life, whether you are male or female, well-being is very centric to that. As taking care of oneself and working on living a healthy life is how we can achieve our goals. In fact, you talk about goal setting earlier, like these women set their goals. If they want to buy a fridge, they're able to set their goals to make sure that they keep they're saving money to be able to buy that fridge. So you won't be able to do that if well-being as well is not centric part of your life. Now viewers, you can see where I'm heading with this. I would like to bring Barrow on board. Because Barrow, I understand this is something that's also very close to your heart, i.e., women and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that you've got hiking or exercise clubs, should I say, in Leeds with some of your ladies.
Yes, absolutely correct. Thank you so much, Makadi, and thank you so much to Boss Women. Before I move on to the topic, and also to all our viewers for tuning in and listening to us this evening. My sister Fatou Toure, my Turekunda sister, is doing a fantastic job in the Gambia, identifying some of the challenges and then coming in to support them so that they can help strengthen and elevate their businesses. Okay, now to the topic of well-being. Makadi, like you said, is something that is very dear to my heart, and I'm very passionate about it. I have a personal story actually, but I leave that to the end about the impact that it has made in my own life, how transformative it's been to my life. Okay, I think the question of whether well-being and movement in general, when we talk about well-being, diet, what we consume, and movement is all part of that. But today I'm going to be focusing on the movement aspect of it because, like you say, we do move a lot with the girls here. Makadi Jammeh, Madam Scatrell Jammeh, and another sister of ours, Njayo, and also Broach and the team. We have a WhatsApp group where we motivate each other, inspire each other, send our steps regularly, and so that we can keep going. I think if you ask everybody, by now we all know about the benefits of exercise. That's not the question anymore. I think the problem is being able to implement this in your life so that it becomes sustainable. That is the challenge that most people grapple with. That's why they don't get to a stage where they make it sustainable. So I have come up with 3 I's that I think is going to help curb that issue, and also hopefully help incorporate exercise in your daily life. If anybody, if you know me years ago, I wouldn't even believe that I'm here talking about this subject because I wasn't moving a lot. So there has been a shift because of some of these things that I am going to talk about. Firstly is to set an intention. Whatever you do, it is very, very important to set that intention. What is going to be your why? Because there are days that you would not be up for it. But if you have a compelling why, this is what is going to steer you to keep going day in, day out, so that you can make this sustainable and make it stick in your life. Okay, your why can be something like, I want to be healthy. I want to, if you are someone maybe who have children, I want to inspire my kids. Or it could be that I want to look good to fit in my clothes. Or it could be that, I want to make an impact in the world, just like my sister here, the video that we have watched. And in order to do that, I need to be healthy so that I can get up every single day and do what ticks me. So that could be your why. And then whatever why you set for yourself, then you have to follow this up with action. Okay, so that action phase, this is where most people fall. And that I have some of these strategies that I'm going to talk about. I've learned it from the book Atomic Habits. I'm not sure whether you have heard about or read the book by the author James Clear. So he talked about identity. Whenever you want to build a habit, because these are automated behaviors that you do day in, day out, effortlessly. So what if exercise could be one of those habits? For example, waking up early in the morning, going and brushing your teeth. You do this without even thinking about it. Maybe you go to work, and then as soon as you get to your living room, the first thing you find is the remote control. Press that favorite channel of yours without even realizing. Dinner time, maybe 2 o'clock, you just go out or you serve lunch. So these are automated habits that we have. So what if we can also have automated habit for exercise, okay? And this identity shift is not like physical, but it's something that you're going to say to yourself, and that is going to prime the subconscious mind, because the best thing about the subconscious mind is that it doesn't know what you're telling it, whether it is true or whether it is false. It just acts on what you feed it. So the most important thing here, for example, like when you say to yourself, I am someone who exercises 3 to 5 days a week. So you see, you are giving yourself an identity. Compare this with someone who's saying, oh, I want to try to exercise 3 to 5 days a week, or I'm trying. Because the word that you, the mere fact that you have used the word I'm trying, you know, it's already self-defeating. But if you say that I am someone who exercises 3 to 5 days a week, you have already built, you have already given yourself that identity. And the book gave an analogy that is very, very, that drives this point home. It says that in an election, even in an election, people who have given themselves that identity of being voters, they don't miss voting unless if there is something significant going in their life. They make it a point of duty to go and cast their vote all the time because they have built that identity. So then once you have built that identity, then the next stage is the implementation phase of it, going on about it every time, you know, effortlessly. So at this stage, you have to revolve it around your life. For example, myself, Makadi, when I have to go to the supermarket, I don't take taxi, I walk, okay, to the supermarket. Maybe I'll have some baggage to carry and it's heavy. Coming back home, I might take a taxi. And sometimes I just carry it. When I'm going to the market from my home to city center, I walk it, okay? So sometimes, you know, because of, it could be weather here, it may not be conducive for us to go together. But these are things that you can do by yourself. And then when we come, we just take our picture of our steps and we post it to the group, inspiring each other, okay? So, and when the weather permits, then we can meet and go hiking together. It's fun. So you revolve it around your lifestyle. Maybe you are someone who goes to work, but then you can stop two stops away from where you're going and walk the rest. So this way, you are making it practical and also making it sustainable, because it's very, very important for it to be sustainable. And here it's also very, very important not to compare yourself with someone else who is doing what you perceive to be more than what you are doing, because maybe that fits in well with their lifestyle, but for you, this is what is manageable. And if you compare yourself with them, you may not exercise at the end of the day. But then every step counts. I think I'll stop here for now. I've been talking for a while.
You've given us such so many tips there, and the affirmations as well, that if you believe that you can do it, you'll be able to do it. Stop saying I'll try. I don't use the word try. I always believe that if I believe I can do something, I just go after it. You have to believe in yourself to be able to do it. And I think us women, like, sometimes we have to take a step back and know that we are very powerful, whether you know it or not. Every woman on this panel, our viewers, watching us, if you're female, I am saying this, embrace this. You are powerful. So just know that you have got a lot within your gift. So take advantage of it, use it. So Jala, I just wanted to bring you back on again to I know we talk about women and well-being, but I just want us to go back on to again women, equality and equity, because I know in your line of work you do come across various scenarios, especially when you have to place children in different homes, or sometimes you have to protect them from their families. Do you think most of the time the woman, i.e. the mother, is at a disadvantage in some situations?
Thank you so much. And I think I want to commend my sister there. And I just want to add to what you said. And then my philosophy is that any impossibility, there is possibility. The only limitation is yourself. So I think that is important that we all recognize that. But we need to give people the access and the opportunities to achieve what they identify. Now, in terms of my line of work, it's not easy. For example, I see a lot of things that come to my attention as a manager, and then I have to make tough decisions sometimes, not alone, but collective decisions. But to me, one thing I am always mindful is what I call oppression and suppression. And then sometimes, decisions we make, obviously, the ultimate objective is to protect a child, to ensure that a child is safe before I march into court, because that's my area. But in that aspect, it's looking at what are the opportunities? What is that we haven't done? Have we done all the reasonable adjustment to help that child to remain within that family? Because everyone starts from somewhere, and we are not all at the same level. But then to achieve equity in that aspect, you need to look at what is the need assessment within that family. The law is very clear around that. And then that's why in this country, for example, we got the Children's Act 1989. And Section 17 of that Children's Act says that we need to ensure that, we consider children as children in need and intervene and support them as a family so that they can remain at in their family. Because the saying is that the welfare and the well-being of the child is paramount important. But we need to look at that from a holistic point of view. What do we mean by that? Holistic point of view in the sense that have we done everything possible to keep that child safe? And sometimes you receive a lot of reports, sometimes you receive a lot of assessments, but then you have to read all that assessment. And then you said, I'm not on the ground, but then is it possible that we, as an institution, as an organization, we have done everything possible to stop this child coming into care or going into court? And that means, for example, some people, either there is language barrier, people don't understand their background. So we need to look at what I refer to as social graces. Social graces, it could be race, it could be language, it could be disability, it could be gender, it could be different aspect of things. But we need to look at that aspect. What is it? What is the barrier for this? What is costing this? Is it that if we do any reasonable adjustment, we're able to make a difference in that family? So we have to look at it from that aspect. So equity is not only in the workplace, but even in our day-to-day life. You have your children, you have your family. You need to ask yourself, what? We have to live each other. We're not equal. Your brother might go to a primary school, a private school. You go into a government school or a state school, whatever that means. Yeah. But we need to ensure that that doesn't necessarily mean that person who goes to a private school should be more successful than the one who went to a state school. But it's what opportunities and what access have you given those people? So that's why every time we look at a case, we don't look at it from a narrow point of view. We need to understand that every person or every scenario is unique. And that's what we have to embrace. Again, I said this in the last International Women's Day. If men did not invite women to the table, women need to create their own table and invite men to that table. Now the issue is, yes, you can create your own table, but then what is the voice of the voiceless? Yeah, how can you ensure that the voice of the voiceless, we read them? Is it a language barrier? What is the language that this is spoken so that these people can hear that language and they will understand? Because right now in the Gambia, the official language is English. Now, if we want to go to a workshop and say we're training people and then we're using that language, it won't work. Those women, Fatu Rifatu, they become successful because Fatu went to them, reaching the unreached, yeah, and give them the opportunity and the access so that they can grow up and then also succeed in what their intentions are. It goes back to what our sister said there, Barrow, when she talked about we need to look at the intention, the identity, and the implementation. But again, that is how do we ensure that that is achieved? People have good intention. Now the question is, they identify what they want to do, they implement it, but do they have the opportunity? Are they given the access? And how do you encourage them and support them and create that platform for them and ensure that you give them the resources and the access to resources to achieve? And these are the things that we need to work on. If we want, and if we mean women equality, women empowerment, inclusion, and diversity, This should not be words. We need to name the issue. And the issue here is equity is lacking. And it's a journey that all of us need to work towards so that everyone can be successful.
If you look at the video that we watched on Boss Women Gambia, going into the rural areas. So although Gambia is an English-speaking country, however, those women were allowed to express themselves in the local languages. And I believe even the skills that they've been taught in, some of it may heavily rely on doing it in the local languages, just so that they can resonate to it, they'll be able to apply it properly. So again, that's equity. Like, you know, they're not just being trained in using English language, but in their local languages, so that, you know, they'll be able to gain from it. As a leader, though, Jala, do you think in leadership roles, especially women in leadership roles, and Barrow, I want you to come in as well, in leadership role, there's extra pressure on them to perform than men? Because sometimes I do hear female leaders say to me, they feel that they have to perform twice than their male counterparts. And I know, like, with now I'm saying this, don't shut me down, but what I'm about to say is, because sometimes they feel like the men have got this arrogance about them, which is not going to be taken away from them, of course, because that's how men are. That's the masculine energy. However, the way it comes across to women is almost like when you're in a leadership role with a man, it's you, the woman, although you're equals in that role, you have to kind of like perform twice to be able to be seen and to be heard and to be included. So do you think there's a bit of pressure in women in leadership roles to perform twice as hard as their male counterparts?
That is true, because we need to understand that up to now, we have, you know, gender roles that have been defined, even though, yes, people are working on them, but sometimes opportunities are defined on gender roles, which is problematic in itself. And I think what needs to happen is to look at where the woman is coming from. Because, for example, you know, as men, many men will get up and go to work. And then, and the question there is, there's a women manager, but probably in that particular person's circumstances, they have to either do the cooking, or they have to go home and cook, or they have to, you know, take care of the children before they come and all other things. So they're very tired, for example. And then when they come, for example, the opportunities that were given to you to be there, that wasn't given to you. And then the access that was given to you as a man wasn't given to them. So more or less, they have to be working very hard. How many times you go into a meeting, they said, oh, who want to take notes? Oh, yeah, X. And then who they point out most of the time is the woman in that meeting. Yeah. Who normally want to chair the meeting? Most of the time they said, oh, you know, the man will chair the meeting. Yeah. And then to me, I said to myself, is how many times we create situations where women have to give up. Yeah. And sometimes that is the difficulty. Men as men, we have to be mindful of that. We don't need to create scenarios where women have to give up. Yeah. Let's take example of the Gambia. Let's look at it, for example, even if you look at the political platform, women in politics, how many of them? If a man wants to stand up for election today, you know, everyone will be there shouting and screaming and trying to support. When a woman wants to stand for election, the first thing is they try to define that person before even they stand up. Yeah, and these are some of the things. And then to me, there is no way we will achieve what we call equality and embrace it unless and until we're able to understand that we need to give women the platform. And then even if the platform is created, they need to have access to the platform. They need to have the opportunity to be the platform and recognize that they have to start somewhere else. It doesn't mean that if you don't speak, you know, English, you cannot be a significant person in making a change. And these are the things that we need to fight. And what I call these are internal suppression and also the belief, or sometimes I call them unconscious bias, that we need to remind ourselves. And then for that to achieve, for us to achieve that, it is important that those who have the voice to share their voice. If you see it, name it. Don't be shy away from it. Name it. And then if you know it, you've gone through it, you're successful, you're able to stand for yourself, share the experience. Fatou Toure is an example. Barrow is an example. Mbakadi, you are a role model. We got our sister there, Kaddy Jammeh, who is also a role model in business and trying to bring people together and giving us the access to the market that some people don't have. And these are all things that sometimes we take it as, you know, these are little things, but these little things matter to people. And that's what changed people's life. And unless and until we put on that lens and look at that microscope and then ask men, reflect on ourselves and say, what can we do to bring that opportunity and access to women?
You've mentioned one word, well, two words, role model. So I was just gonna segue into that actually, to bring Fatou and Barrow into that conversation. Like you mentioned role models, yeah, we're all role models, but then I think sometimes us women, we've got this role model idea in our head that it's not practical. I think I just want Fatou, like what you're doing with Boss Women Gambia is amazing, it's great. And yes, you are I admire what you do, honestly. Like you are a great role model. But then when we talk about role modeling, just role models have to be perfect. And when I think about role models, I'm like, okay, even role models at times they face hurdles, they face like challenges that they have to like keep fighting and fighting until they get what they want, really. So what can I bring? So Fatou, if you come on, I just wanted to just let's have a conversation around that. This whole idea of being a role model, being a good role model. Like, do they have to be perfect, especially a female role model?
Well, there is no perfection. One thing I know, there is no perfection. And before I move on to that, I just want to appreciate and recognize the effort of my sister there, Barrow. You're doing amazing, and I'm so inspired. And at some point, I feel guilty. I've been promising Bakari that I'll get into some exercises, but I've still not been able to. So I think I have to challenge myself and be part of your group. Jella, you mentioned something. You said there is any impossibility, there is a possibility. And the only limitation is yourself. This is our language to the women. I want to do this. I want to be this. What is stopping you? Then they think deep within themselves. I want to share the story of one lady that we encountered in 2018 and what she has done. When we met this lady at that time in 2018, her business was zero because she was only all the time taking loan. Social programs were taking up her business profits. So she was not able to save. But she never realized what is making her to be running on losses until she attended our 2-day training. Then I met her in November 2019. She was trained in August 2018. Then I met her in November 2019. And she said to me, Fatou, you know, now I'm sending money to Dubai to buy incense, this churai we talk about. I said, how did you do that? She said, I had to change my attitude, my habit towards my business. By 2020, during the time of COVID, she was almost renting a shop in Brikama, where she did some savings, invested in a shop, and she has her own shop. 2021, we have a leadership program here that we do for women to hone their leadership skills. After that training, the first thing that this woman did was to go and revive their community market. She is in Buffalo, her name is Aji Fatou. And when asked, Aji, how did you do this? She said, what she realized, if your financial situation is, let me say, if you are financially poor, you tend to lose your self-confidence. I said, how? She said, because you lose your voice. Where? She said, even in the home, you cannot make decisions. In the society, you cannot talk. In the community, you are just silent. Then after going through this training, the first thing she did is she went to approach the community leaders. She approached the VDC, the Alkali, tell them that, like, you know, what I understand now is we've been paying tax, but anytime we pay tax, our tax goes to Brikama because all the women in Buffalo to go to do their business in Brikama. Why not we revive this market? Not knowing, the Alkali, the VDs, and everybody were all seated, waiting for this opportunity, but they don't know how to go about it. So for me, I would say Aji is a role model. So it doesn't have to be a bar that will be raised so high. It's about the little things you do that you feel comfortable with and you are confident about them. Now, Bafoloto has their own market just with the voice of a woman that thought that in 5 years back, she never thought she can do something like that. So it's about trusting each other, like Jalaman Puri, we build in the equity, where we create the space, the opportunity, and everything for the woman or for people to evolve, and then they find their own voice, they find their own path to do what they want to do. So being a role model is not about raising the bar, it's not about doing the big thing. It's about those little things that I said earlier on that you feel comfortable with. And I'm so proud of all the Gambian women that I've been interacting with. This is what I wanted to share, listening to Jalamang and talking about what we feel a role model is and how we see them. And Yarohi is one woman here who, she can stand in her community, talk, and people will listen to her. They will embrace what she is doing, and they will build it, they will trust her, knowing that she is supporting them to be themselves. And being yourself couldn't be better if you trust your voice, if you have your voice and you know what you want to do. That's what I'll contribute on that.
Thank you so much. That story that you just shared with us is very, very inspiring. And like I said earlier, a role model don't have to be perfect. Someone can go through a lot of hurdles in their lives and they can turn it around. It's all again down to the mindset and your belief. Barrow.
Yeah.
You've got some comments to add on to that.
Yeah, I do. Thank you so much once again to Sister Fatu Ture and Jalawang brother. Yes, Jalaman said something that I want to also add on to when he said that women should create their own table and invite men. Yeah, that is very, very true. And also, Makadi, you've talked about leadership and whether women are encountering more challenges in leadership roles. I have a personal also, I also have a story to share about this because yes, in my previous job, I was a retail manager of an oil marketing company and I was in a management position, of course, with my boss in the role. But then thankfully for me, that was not my reality. My boss really supported me. But having said that, I know there are women out there who are having those challenges in their work environment across the world. Also, another thing that I have noticed in my management job is that when I go to meetings, Jalaman has made mention of women taking notes. I'm not sure whether this is because women's confidence have been eroded by situations around them in the work environment, or this is something that, or whether it is because they have not built their own confidence, whether it's emanating from that. I don't know what factors led to that, because I don't have statistics to back that up. But one thing I have observed is that going to those meetings, like women are hesitant to speak up. I pin it down to perhaps lack of confidence. So maybe we also need to start that conversation where women can also start building that confidence and taking the actions that will help them also create that table to invite men. Because otherwise, we will just be taking the backseat role. We would not have the confidence for us to pursue what we want to do because we believe that maybe we are not good enough. When actually, like you say, every woman out there, we are good enough. It just has to be backed up by action, because whatever is going to give you confidence is going to be hinged on the actions that you take, the small steps that you do, and then to aim for that 1% increase each time until you get to that 100% level. You don't have to be perfect today. You just have to start. So I think, my fellow women also, this is something that we need to understand. Makadi.
You're on mute.
Am I on mute?
Yeah,
My background. Yeah, sorry about that. So, yeah, I think I totally agree, Baro. Because at the end of the day, we need to take action and we need to start from somewhere. And what you said earlier, like women can be in a work environment, but then it's almost like because they feel like they haven't got a voice, so they don't tend to speak up. So again, sometimes it does take quite a lot of coaching to coach those women. But what I do say as well, though, as a woman, as a female, if you see another female who's very confident and they inspire you, go and reach out to them. Find out what they've done to get to where where they are now. Maybe you might not go through the same process as them, but there could be one thing that you can do that may help you in your career or in your life moving forward to change certain things in your life. So, but then we don't do that. Us women, we don't tend to do that. You see someone who inspires you, someone who's confident in what they do. Instead of reaching out to them, you be talking other stuff about them. So that's another attitude us women we need to try and change for the better. So I want us to talk a little bit because we got Jala on the forum and Jala is a female ally. So I just want to talk about men being female allies. There are men who do it really well. There are some who don't do that at all. Although we do like every man to be a female ally. And when I say female ally, it doesn't just have to be to your sisters. It can be to your wife, your daughters, the people that you work with, your friends, your female friends. It's really quite important. So what actions do you guys think that people can take to become better allies, even like your husbands as well? Because Baro, you're married, Factory, you're married, Rohi, you guys are all married. So what actions, Jala, you got a wife. So what actions can men take to become better allies to women?
Supporting you. When when you are a woman and you have your husband who is supporting you in terms of helping you in the house, when you are out there, whatever the kids need, he will do it. He will not say that you are the person who should do it. Because when you are married and you are working out, you have to have understanding. When you have understanding, the husband have understanding that I need to help her, because whatever the woman has, the woman have to bring it in the house. I think that one is very important, and that one is a big contribution towards the woman. The man need to have understanding, and moreover to know that if a woman is working, it's only helping the man, because the woman will not say that if I need to this thing, I need to wait for the man. Anything the woman has, the woman will use it for the house. So we women, we need to help each other. But sometimes our attitudinal change, we need to. Fatu is a role model, big role model. Anytime we see Fatu, she is the boss, but she will not show those who are behind her that I'm the boss. Always laughing, discussing with them, exchanging ideas, asking them their ideas and decisions before he will say that I'm the boss. So Alhamdulillah. And one thing what I have learned from Boss Gambia, now we are not taking loan. Now we do contribution, something like Osusu. So when we are 25, every month each contribute $1,000. If we give to one person, you put in your business. So we are all flourishing up. So Alhamdulillah, I thank Boss Gambia and Fatu and our team.
Thank you very much, Yarohe. Yeah, partnership is about complementing each other's effort. And that doesn't only stop at work. Into the home, you just complement each other's effort and know that one person cannot do it 100%. And when you do that, you give each other the space that the person needs. That's like showing respect, respecting the person, communicating, and understanding, not judging. Because if you're with someone and you tend to judge, you tend to make conclusions without understanding. So that doesn't work, in any whether be in a relationship, be it at work, in any kind of relationship, it doesn't help. So it's about complementing each other's effort, understanding, communicating, and respecting each other. This is very, very key. And thank you very much, Yarohi. Unmute again.
Barrow, you wanted to comment on there earlier?
Yeah, thank you very much to Yarohi and Fatu once more. Yeah, what I want to throw in there, in addition to what they have said, is for men to be better allies of women, men to understand and also not to be threatened by women's progress and women's development. For example, if you have a wife and she wants to pursue something, like for example, she wants to go to university to pursue a degree, or she wants to venture into business, or she wants to do whatever is going to bring progress and development. Don't be threatened by that and then think that, okay, if I support her and then once she becomes successful, she's going to, leave me behind, or she's going to disrespect me. It's about supporting each other, empowering each other, and also understanding that in trying, or in not, I don't want to use the word try, I don't like using it in my vocabulary. In elevating that woman, you are elevating the whole family. Because at the end of the day, it's about complementing each other, like Sister Fatu said. So you are building the home, and you are reinforcing that development in the family. So yes, that is going to be my comment. Luckily, myself, I have a very, very supportive husband, alhamdulillah. And there are many men out there and many friends and family that I know whose husbands are also supportive. But we are talking about this in a general context. Yeah.
Jala, I know you somewhere.
And before, sorry, Jala is a woman advocate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just. He's a great ally of women, actually.
Our she.
Well, to me, I think.
No, I said our he for she.
Our he for she. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. To me, I think is that mutual understanding, and then men don't need to fear. And I think sometimes that is the barrier. Sometimes we can be overly protective, and sometimes I ask myself, what is the fear if you have confidence in the woman you're dealing with? So, for example, I'll give you an example. Where I am, I was a deputy before moving to be a manager. I did not have any fear. I saw a woman with talent. Yeah, I know she has it. I went and do what I call coaching. Yeah, I reached out to her to say, I'm stepping up to a platform. Yeah, but I have seen that you're already in the platform. Yeah, tell me, yeah, what I need to do to get to this platform, and how can I make the platform better so that everyone can succeed? And then I did that mentorship and coaching for about 2-3 months, before settling in my role as a manager. Who wins? We all won. Yeah. One, I recognize that there's a woman with talent. Yeah. And then I have gone to reach out to that person who created that table. I created the table because I needed the table. Yeah. And then she then respond to my creation of that table so that we can all be successful. And what am I doing now? I got, women working under me as deputies. And some of them were, field workers, social workers. But what I did is to really work with them, mentor them, so that they can grow up, so that they can also be managed. Some people say to me, it's not possible. I said, it's possible with me. Yeah. And we just need to work together and make it happen. And it happens to be something that is part of my vocation. And then I'm very grateful to the training I got, and then all what we got around youth work and everything we did together back in the Gambia. But if you look at that, in the Gambia, many people are telling us that certain things are not possible. But how many of us as youth went to the rural areas to reach out to people in the rural areas to do something with them, with women, with men, bring them together, and then try to remove that gender stereotypes that I'm the man, I'm in control. How many times you go to a house whereby ni baba nata also baba ari also papa nyewe rek ñep ne tek mel ni dara mo xew. Hello? No, that is no way we can embrace equity in a society like that. Yeah, those are those days. What we need to understand, everyone has a talent. Everyone needs to be given the opportunity. We might not be at the same level, but everyone has somewhere to start. We all had an opportunity to be where we are right now, but there is no way we can make it. Yeah, it's not God-given. Yeah, we were given the opportunity and then the access to make it. And I think men need to understand that. One, if you feel that you have to be a voice, even in a meeting, in any forum or any society, you got to be a voice and an ally to that woman. Yeah, don't be fearful of that woman. See that, what, if I'm successful, she is successful, we are all successful. Yeah, if Fatu is successful, the whole women of Boys Women are successful. If Auntie is successful, everyone is successful. Again, it's all part of what we do. And then recognizing that in the household, I do a lot of stuff. I take the children to school, I get them ready, I sometimes do the ironing, and then I need to work on my cooking skills. But, save that, I'm able to do other areas so that at least I create the forum so that the person who is best at cooking is able to do the cooking, and then I'm able to do things that I believe I am best at. Maybe I'm the best, I'm good at ironing, and then I'll iron the clothes and stuff like that. So if you look at domestic, that is the way. But also equal opportunities. I think Barrow name it. I'm educated, for example. What does that mean for my fellow, my wife, my sister, my daughter, if I don't create the platform for them to go to university? What is the barrier for them? And then that's what I use the word reasonable adjustment. Yeah, we need to make the reasonable adjustment for people so that they're able to climb up the ladder. Yeah, if there is a barrier, recognize what is the barrier and then create the opportunity for them. But there is no way it can happen unless we remove that fear. If you look at the Gambia today, we all stamp our mark. We have seen young girls, young boys that we have mentored while we're in the Gambia, and they are all something today. And we can be proud of them. But we cannot do that unless we create that opportunity for them. And that is it. Everyone has a talent. Everyone is gifted. I can tell you what is the barrier, the access, the opportunity, yeah, and the understanding. Yeah, and acceptance of everyone start from somewhere. And I think that's what we need to embrace if we want to embrace equity, and also see inclusion, diversity, and also equality. But again, we need to recognize social graces. Yeah, some people say, oh, why some people don't talk in certain areas? It's because of, for example, their norms, their value base, their cultural base, their race, their gender, where they come from, their background, their upbringing. And then we need to recognize all these things and say, what can we do to support them to come out of that shadow of doubting themselves and come to the point that it is possible? Let them give me the platform, and then I will dance. Everyone can dance. It's a matter of how you dance, but we can all dance. Yeah, but if we don't have the platform, we cannot dance. And that's what we need to create.
Can dance is a matter of how you do it, how you dance. That's great. Men don't have to. Am I on mute again? Right. Men don't have to fear the women in their lives, because if you support and empower a woman, it goes a long way. It doesn't just stay in your household, but it does go outside as well. So, Fatu, with regards to Boss Women Gambia, because Yaro, he mentioned earlier that the training is free. I think I just wanted to use this last few minutes before we draw this to a close, because I did promise you guys that it's going to be an hour long, and I think we've been here now more than an hour. So I just wanted to go back onto that. So if someone wanted to receive benefit training or be part of it, how would they go about it, Fatu? And because Yara, he mentioned earlier that it's free training, but then how would they be able to access you guys? And their registration fee they have to pay or anything like that. So do you want to just quickly give us that, please? A bit on that.
So it's a two-way approach. Thank you very much for that. As we speak, we have this goal to reach 100,000 women in the next 5 years. So we have a big goal, and we need partners, we need resources to be able to do that. But as I speak now, women, how they access the training, some listen to our radio programs, and we have a WhatsApp group of more than 100 women registered in that group. We call them anchor women. So these women also, they do their own mobilization in their various communities. So the training is free across the length and breadth of the Gambia. But as at now, we are mainly focused within the West Coast because of limited resources. So we've moved to, we did training in other regions, but with support from other partners like the She Trades, International Trade Center, and some local partners in the country. So we want to work with more partners. Even Jala, you can even adopt a community and you just give us the fund, we can go and train. So just like how we are, Rohi get to know about the training. So women also, they do refer their female groups. But at some point, you know, we blacked out. And I heard you talking about the training content, I think. I just want to say that the module is tailor-made. So the trainings are delivered in the local languages. So one of the key criteria we take in hiring is we look at trainers who can speak various different languages. So we look at for Mandinka, Wolof, Jola, Manjago, Sarahule, you know, whichever, because we have different communities with specific languages that they need to understand. Because the biggest challenge, Jalamang has spoken about it, in creating equity, we look at what's actually causing that gap, and we say it's lack of opportunities. So at BOSS, we say wealth, the opposite of wealth is not poverty, but lack of opportunities. And we have seen that manifested in the transformation that these women, the transformation that they went through following the training that they had with BOSS Women Gambia. Yeah, maybe just to give a summary of what our training does, it focuses on cash. We said it's centered on the 5 C's that we operate on, like a 5C model. One is cash, that women improving their financial security. 2 is confidence, women being certain of their abilities. Care, women taking care of their health, nutrition, and hygiene. And that's where Barrow comes in. And I said, I have a challenge. And then we say community, to build a community. That is women using the power of collectiveness. So it's not about only I, but we. And then we also have a climate component, which look at women combating everyday effects of climate change. So these are the various angles and stages that our training focuses on. At the end of the day, we get to see fully confident women who are financially secure, who understand their environment, understand their health, and they know what it means to work with a community. So it's not just about me, or I, or it's about we. So they can make the change that they want, not just in yourself, but within your community. Because every woman, whatever you have, what we have seen is it always goes back to the family. So that's the kind of depth impact that we focus on it much. So the training is free, but we also look for partners to create sustainability. I would like to share one thing that came out outstanding from our engagement with the women. Last year, we had a gathering, and we told the women, we have this part to create sustainability. How can you support? And what the women said, I will contribute $1 a day to support the training of another woman. If a woman out there can say, she would save $1 a day, for a year is $365. You there earning more than them. Why don't you come and work with BOSS through a matching grant, a matching fund that will help us to scale up? So now the women are taking up within themselves to say, this is what I'm gonna do, so that when I speak, the other woman will understand. We went to a community called Aranko. So, and the woman just said, you know, we want you to train this other group for us, because when we speak, they don't understand the level we are talking from. So you can see, even though they've not been into formal school, but just with this little training, they feel that there is a gap and they just don't want to rely on women. There is a particular company, I don't want to mention the name, but they're exploiting Gambian women, engaging them into work and only paying them $100 a day for 7 hours. And what these women are telling us, if we have our farms well equipped and we are able to do farming, we'll stop working for these people just to pay us $1 a day with no security, with no job security. So there's a lot happening, and I think together we can make a huge impact. We can make a difference. The women are not asking for much. All they need is just to be financially secure and to attend this 2 days training to help them boost their business and grow it.
You mentioned something that really did touch me, actually, where the women are contributing into the funds to support another woman to help them to get the training. So is that what Yaro he referred to earlier on about funding a group? So I just want to understand a little bit more where you
No, that one is the Jambar Fund. The
right.
Jambar Fund is the one that all the women that Boss Gambia has trained, they will contribute every day $1. So the
Right.
year $365.
Yeah.
Because we are pleading to you people to support Boss Gambia. Help us scatter about Boss Gambia in Europe so that we have partners who are coming to help us. Partners who will come and maintain Boss Gambia so that they can reach the 100,000 women within 5 years, inshallah.
And I
So
hope this.
we pray that give you people strength to bring partners for Boss Gambia so that the 100,000 women will be trained within 5 years.
I support that, actually, and I'm sure the females on this platform and our male allies will also support that to support Boss women to be able to reach their goal, which is a huge one, Fatu, but I'm sure you'll be able to do it because you've already done over 17,000. So we will do that. And I hope this platform here tonight as well has given that awareness and that exposure more. Hopefully we've reached a few more people that you were unable to reach before you guys came on this platform. Jala, I know I saw you earlier on. I know you wanted to comment on what Fatu just said there about women supporting each other, i.e. contributing into the general fund to support another group and working with local NGOs as well to support Boss women because they cannot do it on their own. It is a huge milestone they want to attain and they cannot do it on their own. So we all have to chip in and support. So I think you wanted to come in there and comment.
Well, you cannot be alone in situations like this. And then we have to reach out to each other and then understand that, everyone needs support to come up from where they are. So $1 say to you might not be a lot, but $1 say might be a lot to someone else. But then if someone want to try and let's start with peanut, gertecha, yeah? They want to do roast, groundnut, and then they want to sell it, or they want to sell something else. But if they don't have the starting ground for you, or giving that person $500 say is nothing, or $1,000 say is nothing to them, but it might mean a lot to that person because they have to start somewhere else. And I think it goes back to what is the intention. They have to identify, again, I'll use Barrow's analogy there. They have to identify what they want with good intention, and then they need to be supported with implementation. But if they don't have the access to resources, they don't have the opportunity, they won't be able to do that. And then, for example, what Fatu said there is key. What does that do? It creates a route to exploitation. Yeah? Because if you suppress people, you don't give them access, you don't give them the opportunity, they start to doubt themselves, and then it becomes survival. Yeah, and then with survival, then exploitation comes in. And we know certain people in society, unfortunately, they are at the doorstep, and their role is just to exploit people in any way they can for their own self-interest. And that is what we need to identify, and we name it and say it, yeah, and say it's not going to happen. We're not going to, and then reach out to those people and see how can we create access and opportunity to them. We need to remove this word in the sun. The sun is not going to feed anyone. The sun is not going to create any opportunity for anyone. What the sun do is that they become not only empathy, but sympathy. And when you sympathize with someone, you are stamping on them. Yeah, we just need to say, you know what, there's no room for the sun. There is a room for, hello, Nandef Dara, let's do something. Ngakuke. Yeah, Ngakuke, or what we have to do something to change society. And it starts to here with our mindset. That have to change, and then our attitude, yeah, because again it has to start from the young ones, yeah, because when you grow up in a society where you feel that women are suppressed and they're not given opportunity, you grow in that embedded. That has to do, when we talk about equity, it has to filter in our education system, it has to filter in our family system, in our society, in cross-section of society, workplaces. We have to be champions of equity in those areas. And then who can do it? The people who have experienced it, people who has the voice, so that they can give other people the voice and name it. And then all of us with that, we can stamp our mark. Everyone have the opportunity to stamp their mark, but then they have to be given the access. The opportunity sometimes can be there, but if they don't know how to utilize that opportunity, it becomes problematic. And this is what we all need to work on. And I think together it is achievable. The only person is the barriers. And who is the barrier? Is our mindset and our attitude. And that needs to change.
You're right there. The only person stopping us from accessing those opportunities is our mindset, because a lot of the time it's what stops us from taking that step forward, because no one likes to be uncomfortable, and to be able to achieve greatness, you have to come out of your comfort zone, to be uncomfortable, to be able to get where you want to achieve. Because if you stay in your comfort zone, you'll never ever progress. That's one thing I've learned. So I know we've been going on now for over an hour, and I would like to get all the panelists on board now to get one final your final thoughts and your final comments. But one thing I also want to ask you all as well is, what action would you take away from from tonight's discussion when it comes to equity, that you're gonna implement in whatever you do outside of this platform tonight?
Yes, so it's, for example, I'll start with myself, and because I don't have fear. So to me, it's for what will I do to make a difference? What can I do to create that opportunity in anywhere I am? Yeah, it doesn't matter whether I go to a supermarket or whether I go to a village in the Gambia, in my own village, or I went anywhere. I need to ensure that I advocate. It's something that is in my DNA since I was young. I don't know why, but I'm so proud that it is in my DNA, and I'll continue to advocate for that in any way I can within my abilities. And then when I see it, I will name it. And then in terms of, people know me in the Gambia. When we come to traditional practices around certain things, I name them. I had no fear around it. And I think unless we're comfortable in naming them and challenging ourselves, and that's what we need to do. So to me, is to continue to challenge myself and understand that I have limitation, and how can I use the opportunities I have to make differences on certain people. And then, yes, I will pledge that I will be working with Boss Gambia in anything I can to at least, stamp my mark in anything I can. Even if it is one woman, we can help to change their life. That person can go and change the entire life of others. We have seen what Barrow alone is able to do to try and change a mindset of a society around diet and healthy lifestyle. We have seen that woman, Fatu Rifatu, who is able to go and create a market at a village that no one thought it is possible. So therefore, is the motto of in any impossibility, there is possibility. Let's fight fear and remove the barriers. Everyone will be successful.
Thank you, Jala. Very inspiring words there, and your call to action there. I like that. The fact that you said you will join forces with Boss Women, and support any the women around you as well, to give them that voice, empower them. And yeah, it doesn't take a lot to do that. It's just very little sometimes when you look around. Like be more inclusive. So I'll bring Balo back. Balo and Fatu, do you guys want to give your final comments around what actions you're going to take from this discussion here today in terms of women and equity? Fatu, I know you're doing a great job of it already. Balo, you too, you all are doing a great job of it already. So just final comments from you guys before we wrap up.
Yeah, for me, it would be consistency. You know, whatever you are trying to achieve or trying to do, it doesn't matter. It's not about the quantity. It's about how consistent you are. This is what is going to help you progress. And this is what is going to help you evolve over time and become better at it. Because it's not about intensity. It's about how consistent you are day in, day out. Remember, whatever you want to do, for example, with the exercise, hopefully you want it to become a lifestyle change. And if you make it so difficult that you cannot be consistent in it, then you will not be able to sustain it. And over time, you will just drop off and go back to your default, and thereby not achieving your goal. So no matter how small it is, consistency is key. And the next thing that I want to comment on is the efforts of Boss Gambia, and also to pledge about supporting those women. I'm really moved and inspired by that story of women making that collaborative effort to support each other in order to drive each other's success. Because we all know that, you know, these women are shouldering lots of responsibilities. We all know that some of them are solely responsible for their children's school fees, for other responsibilities around the house. And therefore, supporting to elevate those women is really making an impact and making a difference in the lives of people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Baro. Fatu and Yarohi, any final comments from you both? And you guys are doing amazing so far. So any final, I'm not even going to say what action would you take away from this platform tonight, because you guys are already doing it, you well onto it. Any final comments from you both?
I am very grateful once more. I thank you all. I'm very grateful. I will continue to support Fatu Boss Gambia. Now, starting from tomorrow, I will be doing it door-to-door step, one-to-one marketing. That is how I will be starting from those who are selling get yourself. Everybody has to be on board to Boss Gambia, inshallah. The support I'm doing, I will continue doing it. Inshallah. Thank you all. I'm very grateful to be part of this special discussion. Happy International Women's Day to all. All the strong women out there and hardworking women in the Gambia and the global.
Thank you very much. I think I first want to appreciate Jala and Baro. Jala, I trust you. I know what you can do and what you'll be ready to do. So we just want to say thank you very much for those insights, for being there, and for trusting in the women that you work with and that you ally with. Baro, I've challenged myself, and I take your 3 eyes, and I promise you'll see a transformation. I remember there was a night I was talking with Bagade, and she said, "Fat, what are you eating?" I said, "Bread." She was like, "Bread this night? But what size are you?" And when I think of the workload that we do, I think mental health is very key. And this is one thing we always communicate down to our women. And it has to start from me, myself. We're going far and we have to go further. And we cannot do that if we don't take care of our health. So my biggest take for tonight, from tonight's discussion, is the 3 I's: the intention, the identity, identifying what I need to do based on my intentions, and also implementing them. I think I'm at the last stage. I know what I want to do, but to implement it is the big challenge, and I'll take it upon myself. To all the women out there, I just want them to believe further in themselves. They trust the process and know that they can do it, and they're not there all alone. and to tell everybody the women are not asking for much. All they're asking for is a little space to allow them to excel. And we can do that with what we've just discussed about. So I thank you all. Kaddy Jammeh, I cannot thank you enough. You're doing amazing, and we are so proud of you. And anytime we can have these kind of discussions, I think it's really going to help. And more women can come on board. Yaro is super excited tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Baro. I'm so inspired with your work. I'm very much inspired with what you do. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fatu, Yarohi, Baro, Jala. Thank you to all my panelists. I'm sure viewers, you agree that there's been a lot said here this evening, from consistency to setting the right affirmations, having the right mindset, supporting the women in your life, giving them a voice, making sure that they're included. As a woman, setting goals, try and reach your full potentials. Remember, you can do it. Anything you set your mind on, you can do it. Baro has given us the 3 I's as a tip. Think about it. Implementation is the hardest part of those I's, but you can do it because you have got the power within you. Jala has said if men don't create the table, women create the table and invite the men. He said it last year, he said it again tonight. So and he's also said, as being a good ally, you have to make sure that you give women that voice, give them that support, communicate with them, know what their needs are to be able to provide them that equitable environment for them to be able to thrive. Boss Women, Fatu has come on board. We've seen the video. Those women has benefited a lot from that project in the Gambia, and currently they are benefiting from it, and their whole family is benefiting from it. Not just the women themselves, but their whole family. We've seen Yarohi has spoken to us as well. She's a beneficiary from the Boss Women project. She's encouraging other women to join. Why is that? Because she had a good experience from it, and she is really gaining from it. That's why. So a lot has been said here tonight about women, equality, equity, and beyond. So we have touched on various subjects, including women and well-being. If you don't take care of your well-being, who's going to take care of it? It's going to be you. If not, no one else will take care of your well-being for you. So hopefully, our viewers tonight, you did manage to listen to the end, and you did manage to also gain one or a few things from this session tonight. Hopefully, it's all worth it. And I'm sure you'll all agree with me that our panelists have all done justice to all the different topics that I've stared them in. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight and being a very engaged audience. So we are going to call it a wrap until next time we come your way. Happy International Women's Week and Women's History Month. Remember, ladies, women, girls, you've got this. Thank you.
There is nothing more important to our future as Gambians than our surrounding nature. In an era of climate change and global warming, coupled with the movement of people to more urban areas, the need to conserve our environment should be at the forefront of any development exercise. This is why I endorse Global Properties Green Bill project in Gunjur, Sifu, the first and only NEA-certified housing project in the Gambia. A site and service scheme that offers you immediate access to your land with roads, water, and electricity. Without trees and a healthy ecosystem, life will be hard for us. That's why my foundation decided to plant 1 million trees in 5 years. And knowing that Global Properties was doing this project in line with our vision, I will always recommend them as a partner in environmental development. There is nothing more important to our future as Gambians than our surrounding nature. In an era of climate change and global warming, coupled with the movement of people to more urban areas, the need to conserve our environment should be at the forefront of any development exercise. This is why I endorse Global Properties Green Bill project in Gunjur, Sifu, the first and only NEA certified housing project in the Gambia. A site and service scheme that offers you immediate access to your land with roads, water and electricity. Without trees and a healthy ecosystem, life will be hard for us. That's why my foundation decided to plant 1 million trees in 5 years. And knowing that Global Properties was doing this project in line with our vision, I will always recommend them as a partner in environmental development.